What's going on, guys? We are back here in the driveway on another beautiful spring day in upstate New York. If you guys have been following us along the channel here, we threw our big hybrid 20G turbo on in the last episode. That was a pretty fun one. Now we're just going to tackle something that's been bugging the hell out of me, and it's about due. But side note, sorry about the low quality upload. I don't understand it, but apparently Adobe Premiere Pro did an update and dropped all my 4K footage down to 480p. So I apologize for that. Hopefully this one stays at least 1080p. That's what I normally upload in. So anyway, we're gonna get over here and get into this one. I've been having a little trouble with a squeal on my front end of my car here, only when I turn, and I thought it was my brake pads were hanging up or dragging or something, so I went through and replaced those pads, bled the calipers again. I've checked through everything. The rotors are in great shape. All this stuff seems to be working fine, but I think I have a wheel bearing out. So I tried to record this once before, but I couldn't figure all this stuff out. I ended up having a couple of obstacles I couldn't overcome. Got a Advanced Auto Parts wheel hub. Here's your part number for any of you guys following along. Get it out of the shadow. NT513157. I read some bad reviews on the Duralast AutoZone brand one, so I went over to Advanced and got the advanced version of it. So what we got is our wheel ready to come off. I'm going to jack this thing up in the air. I'm going to take the caliper off, the rotor off, and my problem last time was a stuck CV axle. I could not get that damn thing out for the life of me. I fought with it forever. I used a 3-jaw puller from Harbor Freight. You can get a 3-pack 3-jaw puller. There's like a small, medium, and large one, and that puller couldn't handle it. It actually snapped the ears right off. So I went over to Tractor Supply Co. and I picked up Big Papa here. This thing is a monster compared to that one. A lot better tool steel, higher quality casting. It's by Job Smart. I think that's the Tractor Supply brand. This is $50. Couldn't believe it was so expensive, but we've got that. So we got that. We got ourselves a big ass hammer too. Let me find that. Where did you go? There you are. We got a big daddy hammer. This is what is this one? 4-pound hammer. It's a mini sledge. So hopefully we can knock this axle out of here. That was my big issue. I couldn't get the CV axle out of the hub. I tried heating stuff up. I tried all the penetrating oils. I tried, leverage the 3-jaw puller, tapping on it, banging on it, hitting it from the side. She's in there. So I'm hoping that with this sledge and the 3-jaw puller, the pressure that we put on this bad boy, it's going to free up that axle. And once that axle's freed up, I'm actually working on something over here. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the what is it, like the hub wrecker or whatever it's called, the hub removal tool that they sell on Amazon. It's essentially a black bar with a set of ears welded on it that you screw into the hub. So you put it onto the hub, put a couple lugs into the studs, and it holds on to the hub, and all you do is you wrap on the far end of it with a hammer and it snaps the hub right out. And apparently it is the way to go. Everybody that's used one seems to love them, and they're pricey. You can find them from about $95 to $115 online, and I'm too cheap for that. I spend all the money on my parts and my tools. I don't want to spend a whole crap load of money on a specialty tool, especially when I can make it myself. I got a little welder sitting here at home. So what I did is I went over to Harbor Freight, my favorite place. Oh, I picked up a probably 10-pound standard receiver. It's 2-inch diameter by 18 inches long, and it's got a 5/8 pinhole. Don't care about that. More into it for the 18-inch length. It's some thick square stock steel, and I got a piece of angle. What I'm going to end up doing is lopping off a corner of that angle, and I'm going to weld it to the face, and I'm going to use this essentially as that same tool. I'm just going to drill a couple holes in it, mount it up, probably put a couple extra pieces here and there for support. I'm going to weld a little flat spot right here for impact pad for the hammer. and we're going to make ourselves a hub removal tool so we can knock this puppy off once we get that axle out of there. So enough talking. It's 5 minutes in and we haven't done a damn thing. So I'm going to stick you guys out to the side. I'm going to start making this tool, and I'll be back with you once we're ready to either remove the CV axle or show you the tool, something, I don't know, but I'll see you in a minute. All right, boys and girls, we are back out here. Ran out of time yesterday to do this, so I'm back out here, and it's the morning time again. This is pretty much how all my videos go. Hey, I'm going to do this today, and oh, hey, it's day 3. Well, no, it's the next morning. We had to pull the axle out. The carrier bearing on the driver's side keeps the axle from moving laterally at all. So what you have to do is kind of disassemble the knuckle or the lower ball joint and spin the whole knuckle, so that way you can get the CV axle to move in. And that was my trouble before. I couldn't get the thing to budge. Once I disassembled the lower control arms and got the ball joints off, it ended up having a little tiny bit of play, which gave me an inkling of hope. And after I got that little bit of play, I started to tap on the big 32 millimeter end nut on the axle, and I got her to slide free. Now, anyway, yesterday we left off with me making this, and this is the hub removal tool that I put together. It is not the $100 or $120 one off of Amazon, but as you can see, it's just a giant hitch, and it's got a piece of angle iron welded to it. And if you look down this way, you'll see that we have a knuckle with no hub in it, an old hub and a new hub. Now, this worked even better than I thought it would work. It was absolutely cakewalk. All you have to do is stick this. Oh my god, it weighs 20 pounds. Alright. You stick this on the hub. You thread a couple of nuts down on it. I used the top 2, and I left enough space so that this would sit flush against the center of the CV shaft housing portion, you know, the little flare where the axle comes out on the hub. I put it on like that, tightened 2 lugs on it. Normally you would put some flat washers down, and I didn't even hit it maybe one time lightly, and it already had rocked this thing free. I used this brand new hammer. I tapped it one time right here. I mean, you know how to throw a hammer. I basically dropped its own weight down, and this weight of this tool coupled with the 4-pound mallet just tapping it on the end, that hub flew right out like it was nothing. So if you guys ever struggle with your wheel bearings and you want to go on the cheap, this cost me about 16 bucks, 18 bucks, something like that. I think this hitch piece was $16 and the piece of angle iron was like $6. So we'll call it 25 bucks, under 25 bucks. So for under 25 bucks, and if you have a welder sitting at home, go ahead and make yourself one of these. It is the best hub puller I've ever used. I've been out here before with hammers, and I've had to take it to a press before. I've had to air hammer some stuff with a couple of my buddies in their shop. It's a struggle with wheel hubs, and the struggle all amounts from this tiny little surface on the back of the hub. Right here, this little ring seats inside of the knuckle, and right inside of this knuckle here you get a little bit of corrosion, and it's all over. And I'm going to clean this up a little bit better. I'm going to get this new one put in here, throw my axle back together, and hopefully we'll have this wheel bearing done in the next hour or 2. It's a little bit more in depth than I thought it would be. Oh, mind you, I pulled the axle out because it wouldn't come out of the center of the hub while it was on the car. Like I said, it wouldn't budge at all. It wouldn't give me a millimeter. Once I disconnected the transmission, or the axle from the transmission, and pulled the whole knuckle assembly out on the ground, I looked behind it. I hit it with a little bit of penetrant right by the little teeth for the speed sensor, wheel speed sensor, and or ABS sensor, I believe. And I had to slide that out. Obviously, it made a little mess underneath the car over there. Dropped some fluid. That's good. We're due for a change anyway. But yeah, once I got that thing pulled back and the 2 bolts for the carrier bearing disassembled and removed, which are a total pain to get to, by the way. You have to reach up right underneath the catalytic converter or the dummy cat right there to get any access to it, and I had to use a 14 millimeter ratcheting wrench in a weird angle crawling up underneath the car. I don't know. It was a whole thing. I'm going to stop rambling on. I'm going to clean this stuff up, but pull the carrier bearing bolts out, slide the axle out, and you should be able to get this CV axle pressed off this hub a lot better than doing what I had to do and disassembling every single thing. So anyway, I'm bringing you guys along through the trials, the tribulations, the easy jobs and the hard jobs, and this has definitely turned out to be one of the more in-depth, difficult ones, but we're victors. We got our hub out. So I'm gonna get this old hub off to the side, stick you guys off to the side, and start repairing and reassembling all of this. We'll be back in a few. Well, folks, after some struggle, we've got this thing all put back together. I've got the ball joints all tightened down, tie rod ends tightened down, upper ball joints cranked tight. Got the caliper, the CV axle, put the center cap back in my rim, got the lugs back on. All I got to do is lower it and torque it. The last step of this whole thing is going to be coming over to the transmission side. I got to drain the fluid and refill it real fast, and then we are finished. Thank God. That was quite the task, and I don't know if I can't really demonstrate it too well on another hand, but let's see if I can spin this and make you guys, maybe you can hear this. That was I stuck the mic right to it. This bad boy was toast. So luckily we got it out. We got the new one in there. I'm gonna crawl up under here and finish up what I'm doing. But I do gotta say, if you guys want to spend the $100, go for it. This homemade tool was awesome. It worked very well. Let me get you guys back over here. Now all I have to do is climb under this thing one more time. Well, twice. I got a jack stand out. Just got to pull the drain plug and the fill plug, and I've got 3 bottles of, what is it, 75, 90 weight gear oil, transmission oil. We're going to fill that in with the, I got a fluid transfer pump that I'm going to use just so I can pump it up in there. And then I'm finished with this project, guys. So I know it was all over the place. It was just a maintenance thing, but figured I'd bring you along for some of it. Anyways, hope you guys are doing well. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you again in the next one, where we're going to go doing some fun driving around town now that I have a hub that's not going to squeal and make horrible sounds. So anyway, take care.